Hello, Gunners all around the world. Hello, football enthusiasts all around the world. You're welcome to another edition of the Arsenal Alchemy. I remain your host, Simply Ike. And it's been, this weekend has been a weekend of football, nonstop from start to finish, I'm going to give you a rundown of the games that were played this weekend in the EPL. Then we will now discuss our topic, which is Arsenal still in the title race? But before then, I'll give you a rundown of all the matches that were played this weekend. So I'm going to start with Manchester United. They won against Leicester 3-0. That was a very good performance by Manchester United. I told you that maybe the Manchester United board could have just waited a little bit, give Ruud van Nistelrooy some time to manage the team, instead of getting another coach that is outside of the Premier League. He is not Premier League tested, and, you can see from all the matches that Ruud van Nistelrooy has, managed, he's not lost anyone. And I think he's won 3 out of 4, which is very decent. So Manchester United won that game. They won it emphatically. It was a one-way traffic. The second game is Nottingham Forest 1, Newcastle 2. That is a very, very big away win for Newcastle. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Ipswich Town 2. We didn't see that coming. That is another upsetting result for Tottenham. They have been kind of blowing hot and cold this season. When you think they've picked up, the next game they become disappointing. I watched that game, and to be frank, Ipswich could have scored 3-4. So I don't know. Tottenham something has got to change for them, because this is a very lackadaisical kind of form they're in. They need to pick up some momentum. They need to put a strings of wins together. The next game is Chelsea 1, Arsenal 1. Our beloved Arsenal went to Stamford Bridge, and we tried everything, and we scored the first goal from Martinelli, a good strike. He placed it at the near side of the post, and you can say the keeper should have done better, but anyway, it was 1-0. 10 minutes later, Pedro Neto released a shot from about 35 yards, and it was enough to beat the Arsenal keeper Raya. And both teams decided to give it all, trying to win it. But it was Arsenal that had the bigger chance at the end. Just at the last kick, Trossard missed a glorious chance. He could have left the ball for Kai Havertz to just slot in an empty net. But he decided to connect the ball, and he didn't. He kind of scoffed the shot, and so that was how Arsenal lost that chance. If we had won, we would have gone third. We would have gone third, and we would have been 21 points. But it didn't happen, so we'll talk about the match much later. The next game is Liverpool 2, Aston Villa 0. Liverpool is on fire. It's time we take them very seriously. They are on fire. The next game is Brighton 2, Manchester City 1. That was something we didn't see coming, but we are not so surprised because Manchester City's form has been dipping. They've been regressing. They have not been, they have not been this, Premier League champions. They've not been playing like champions. They have, they've not really gotten their bearing. From the Rodri injury, I can place it back to that injury. They have been just bang average. They haven't, most of the games they've even won, they actually struggled to win. Yes, Erling Haaland scored yesterday, but that was just all. That was it. He scored and he didn't even come close as the game wore on. Brighton looked like they were going to even score even much more goals. So another upsetting result, even this one more so. And the next game is Crystal Palace 0, Fulham 2. A very, very good away win for Fulham. The next game is Brentford 3, Bournemouth 2. Good win for Brentford. I think they actually needed this. They've had some strings of very disappointing results lately, so this was a much needed win for them. Then the next game is West Ham 0, Everton 0. It was a drab goalless draw. I saw the highlights and it's not a good showing. When David Moyes was sacked he wasn't sacked, but the fans were calling for his head. They wanted him out, despite everything this man achieved for them. Of course, we know he won the Conference League Cup, the championship in the Conference League. He won it. And, I don't know what else the fans wanted. And they were playing decently. They were a much harder team to beat than they are now. The next game is Wolves 2, Southampton 0. So Wolves recorded their first win of the season. It was a much needed win. And to be factual, to be frank with you, Wolves, the table doesn't really, it doesn't really mirror their form in the league. They play so well. They've been at the back of some dodgy referee decisions, but they are a very good team. It's hard to beat them, So I was relieved for them. I'm happy they won their first game against Southampton. Southampton are, they are also strugglers, but they won last week and they were trying to keep up the momentum by winning this one. Okay, so that's it for the roundup of the games. So now our question is Arsenal still in the EPL title race? Do you think that with the draw today against Chelsea, which ultimately puts us 9 points behind Liverpool, it puts us 4 points behind Manchester City. We are, in terms of points, we and Chelsea share the same points, but they are ahead on goals difference. So, do you think we're still in this title race? If you ask any Chelsea fan, they tell you no, they were never in the title race. They are only here this season to make the top four. We are on the same point with Chelsea, and we have been, to be frank, we have been really bad in recent games. But the game today, I'm not gonna judge the boys harshly. They were much better. We are not where we want to be, but we were much better, maybe because of the inclusion of Martin Odegaard, who, by the way, played the whole 90 minutes. He played the whole 90 minutes. I was surprised, before the game, there was a lot of talks about Declan Rice not starting this game or not being fit, because I understand he has a broken toe. So, but he made the team. He made it, and he got substituted, I think, at the 65th minute. And he was quite decent. The whole general narrative was the Chelsea midfield of Caicedo and Lavia were gonna bully our midfield of Thomas Partey and Declan Rice, but that didn't happen. We didn't see that happen. If anything, I think, in my opinion, in the first half, I think Thomas Partey and Declan Rice buzzed the midfield. Lavia, to me, for Chelsea, he performed below par today, and thereby putting a lot of strain and stress and pressure on Moises Caicedo, who had a decent game as well. So, what do you guys think? You think we still have a shot at making this Premier League ours after 2 seasons of very near misses? Do you think we still can? Because right now, we're not chasing just Manchester City. It's a different kind of challenge. We are chasing Manchester City and we are chasing Liverpool. Liverpool has been imperious this season. They have not put a foot wrong. They have been dispatching their opponent with relative ease. Mind you, they played Aston Villa yesterday. And like I said, they dispatched Aston Villa with relative ease. It was a stroll in the park. Aston Villa didn't really pressure Liverpool in any way. They were very poor on the day. And, so the momentum is definitely with Liverpool. The only way we can have any chance of catching them is to have the same kind of run we had last season from January. We went to that Dubai retreat. We came back so refreshed and we were blowing all teams away. We set a lot of records, especially in the away games. We were blowing out teams 5-0, 6-0, If we can come back to that type of form, it's still basically the same players. The injured players are coming back. We're not picking red cards like we did in the last few games. We are playing 11, so we're becoming harder to beat. So we just need to start taking these chances. We need to start scoring goals to have any chance of making it. And yes, we need to go to the January transfer window. We need to go to the market. We need to get a very, very potent number 9. We can't keep using Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz can supplement, but he cannot be our go-to guy for goals. He is not. Don't forget, last season, where he scored 14 league goals, was his best season. Even when he was in Leverkusen, that was his best goal tally for any season. So that was a one-off. We can't keep gambling with Kai Havertz. We need a complete striker. We need a number 9. Then, also, we need to pick up the type of form in the away games we picked up last season. Our away record this season has been woeful. We've been terrible. We've been struggling, And another thing, we've been too defensive. That is the criticism of Mikel Arteta this season. He has he has just been so defense minded in most of the games. And you wonder, why are you doing that? Arsenal is known for being on the front foot. You charge at the opponent, you rush them from the first second of the game, you know. That has been our go-to style of play. Why is he adopting the style of sitting back, playing a lot of defense, you know, or sometimes we score a goal and we just sit back and allow the opponent to come at us? If you ask me, this is not how you win games. This is not how you win games. One mistake, they equalize. And they start having belief and they might go on to win it. We've seen it. But if we are attacking from start to finish, of course we have to have the right balance from defense to the midfield to the attack. The right balance. But the way we've played, that has given us, that has made other teams fear us from last season, is how we should be playing. That should be our style of play. Our defense and our holding midfield is decent to me. Our only problem is the goal scoring. If we can get a proper number 9, get one or two other covers for Bukayo Saka, and, a cover in the defensive midfield. I think if we do that, we'll be fine. And, it's asking too much for the form of last season, but we can do it. It's like I said, it's the same type of players. And besides, Liverpool is yet to play some really tough games. They are yet to play Spurs. They are yet to play Manchester City. If we can pick up the points after the international break, I think the next game will be Nottingham Forest at the Emirates. We'll start with that, have a statement win. Most of the teams we're going to face from now are at the lower tier of the table. So if we get our tactics right, we can win all those games. The only tricky game there is against Manchester United, which is also winnable. If we get our tactics right, win the next 5 games, that will kind of rattle the teams at the top, and that will, boost our players' confidence and give us the momentum to go ahead and finish and win this title. It's been a long time coming. The last time we won was 2004. That's going on 21 years. That's not acceptable for a club like ours. It's absolutely not acceptable. So you let me know what you think about our season so far. You let me know what you think about how our season will pan out in the future. I will be with you to interact with you in the chat room. And, you just drop your opinions. Remember, no cursing, no swearing, no abusive words. Just be decent. Just be, respectful, gentlemanly, And like I said, I'll be with you to take you on. I remain your host, Simply Ike, and thank you for another episode. And join me the next time when I record tomorrow on the Arsenal Alchemy.